All right, in this video, we're going to talk about how to create an internal job or a charge to MU job, which is something that you'll be doing potentially from the service department to install parts on a unit, maybe do warranty before it's sold or PDI. There's some different options here. So let's take a look at how you can do that. Um, from a service invoice, the first thing you can do is you can enter in a stock number here if you want, and that will pull up a list. If you don't know the stock number, you can click the search icon here, and you'll click this charge to MU button up top here. I'll come down, I'll find a unit I'm looking for, and I can click add selected. Now, this part is really important. At this point, the idea is that we're installing something on a unit that has not been sold yet. This item has not gone out on the floor. There is a mechanism we'll talk about in major unit sales about how to attach invoices and different types of things. But in general, when you use this type of internal sell, the idea is that you're working on this prior to it going to potentially a major unit deal. And you have four different types of sale here. You have charge to MU. This is setup parts and labor or tax exempt. It will reflect as a cost, but it will not reflect in the sell price and deal profitability. So this is something that you're eating, right? You're eating it all the way around. It will be a cost on the unit. Maybe you're giving away a free roof, and it doesn't impact the sell price and that deal profitability. So you just need to understand that you're giving a lot away there. You have installed. Installed parts and labor will be taxed at the major unit rate. So in many cases across the country, the major unit tax rate is at the rate of the purchaser, not necessarily the rate of the dealership, like when you're buying parts. And since you're installing them as part of the unit, that's why it's going to tax at the major unit rate because it's considered part of the unit. It's going to reflect as a cost, and it's going to reflect in the sell price and the deal profitability. All right, so we have non-installed. Non-installed parts will be taxed at the dealership rate. This is like selling a part over the counter. Maybe while somebody's in the office, or there's something that's going to be included with the unit, like a pass or a ticket. Maybe you need something that's just part of it. That's what this would be. And those non-installed parts are taxed at the dealership rate. So essentially, what this is like selling a part over the counter. It's going to reflect in the cost and the sell price and the deal profitability. And then we have pre-delivery. Pre-delivery warranty parts or labor or tax exempt will not reflect as a cost or sell price in the deal profitability. So if you want to do your PDIs set up this way, you can do it. All right, for the example we're going to run right now, we'll go through a basic installed process. So, we're going to put something on a unit that's going to go to the floor and we want to sell it with it and charge the customer, but we want it installed ahead of time. So go ahead and create save. And at this point, you can see the customer is now the actual unit. We don't have a customer. We can see the type here, and we need to add in our job. So we can go in and we can say new job. Maybe we're going to install a winch on a particular ATV or something like that. We can put whatever our information is. We can go down. We can look for our parts. We're just going to pick a part number for now, but we'll pretend for the sake of demo that this part here that we're selecting is a winch. So we could add that part in. We can convert this to an RO, reduce the quantity. We've seen this in our last couple of chapters. I will go ahead and install the items now. Now I have labor. So how long does it take to install the winch? It's 2 hours of labor. We got my parts installed. I'm going to assign a technician. They're going to do this work. Now we can see here we have the technician time clock. So to clock in and out of this job, what we'll go ahead and do is click that icon, and then depending on which user it is, if you're an admin or if you're a user, I'm an admin. So here I'm just manually adding a technician, and then I would do the hours in or out from that side. And then we have our parts. We can complete our parts invoice and we can save this. So now what's happened when we go, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this unit in inventory. What we've now is done has billed installed parts and labor to a particular unit. Okay. And what that's going to mean is when we go over here and let's go into major unit management and we look at our stock number, and we go to our assembly parts and assembly service, we'll see that we have a part installed and we had labor. And then when we look at our unit information on our pricing, When we go and actually put this unit in a deal, we'll see the same information gets passed right on to the customer because again, we wanted to pass the cost and the price on to the customer. And again, when I come down here, I can see my assembly parts, my assembly service for my, I can see the type that it's installed, all the costs. I can discount here if I need to. I can update tax if I need to. And in my invoice details, I can see over here where my total parts that have been requested and my total service and how it all adds into the deal. We talked about how it calculates into the profits in the unit. You can see that it's here, whether it impacts commission, so you can see all the details related from that information. So it's a pretty easy process to use. Again, you're going to look up by a stock number. You're going to decide the right type of cell. You're going to complete it just like a normal RO. And then you can see here, once you've done that, where this shows. It's the same thing for the internal cells to the parts department as well. So hopefully this just explains a little bit better how to use an internal cell or a charge to MU option in DX1 and how it impacts the unit itself and the deal. One thing I do want to note with internal sales is you cannot post sales deals until all the open invoices have been completed. So if you have open work, if you have parts are on order that didn't get here and go with the unit, even though you build them internally, we're not going to let you post that deal until you remove them because obviously they impact the cost of the unit and they're still in process. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's selling internal parts, internal service through a service invoice.